Hi, my name's Brandon, but you can call me Big Z, and today I'm talking about my favorite movies of 2016. And I waited a bit, not as much as the Oscars, I waited a while because I was trying to see almost all the movies that were supposed to be good that came out last year. And some of the Oscar bait films didn't come out until recently. But I finally saw almost all the ones I want to see. I still have like 10 movies that I want to see and haven't been able to yet. But I don't think any of them would crack the top 10, so I figured it was time. Before the end of January, at least. So I'm going to do my top 10, but there are two honorable mentions. And that's Deadpool. And that was an excellent film that I had a lot of fun with. I really did something different for the superhero genre, and especially the X-Men universe. And, it was really funny. And the reason I didn't include it in my top 10, though, is that after repeated viewings, a lot of the jokes didn't hit the same for me. The more I watched the film, the more immature some of the jokes were, and then like some of the kind of like lowest common denominator jokes. But I still really enjoyed it. And I'd say it's probably number 12 for me, favorite film of the year. And another one is Don't Breathe. And that's another excellent film where it's like a horror thriller, and which is really kind of, some stuff is really sick, but it's really well done. And I really, you felt for the people when stuff was going down, like that they were in real shit, and they had to try to defeat this blind guy. But again, when I watched it more than once, it didn't quite hold up as much. Because like the first time seeing it was just so crazy, especially in the theater. The theater, it was amazing. But still an excellent film. I'll probably put like a number 11. So now I'm ready for the top 10. And number 10 is the Conjuring 2. And this was one of my favorite horror movies of the year. Probably was my favorite horror movie of the year. And it came out in June 10th, and it was an excellent film that I loved seeing. I love that style of horror that he has, where it's not like fake jump scares, and this really actually some stuff is really scary. And this is a scary movie I absolutely loved. And the only reason I didn't include it higher is because it's a little bit derivative of the first Conjuring. And after repeated viewings, I think that I liked the first Conjuring better. But it's the excellent film. I think the best horror film of the year. So at number 9 is Doctor Strange. And it came out on November 4th, and it's a Marvel film. I love Marvel films, and this one is a little different because it's really more visual. Like and it's also more of a standalone film than the other MCU films. But it's a lot of fun. I love all the characters. The villain isn't excellent, but I love how he has to train and become Sorcerer Supreme and really grow as a character. And it's a lot of all the magic and everything that they did with like the different universes and stuff was really beautiful to watch, especially on the IMAX screen. And I'm looking forward to watching it multiple times to see how it holds up. But it hasn't come out to Blu-ray yet. And number 8 is Manchester by the Sea, and this is an excellent film, and it's really a beautiful, like, well-made movie that was depressing as all hell. And that's why it's not higher up on my list, because I really don't know if I'll want to watch this film again, because there's no story to the movie. There is no story. There is no development of the characters. The movie is a little bit pointless. Like when you get through all the excellent filmmaking, excellent acting, and heartbreaking story, you really, the Casey Affleck's character, he starts out as a depressed douchebag. he becomes more depressed and more of a douchebag, and then he ends as a depressed douchebag. And that's the whole movie, you know. He doesn't change. He doesn't do anything to make him better his life or better himself or better the people around him. And I know I like, you know, the idea that, you know, some things that happen are so bad that, you know, you can't come back from it. You know, you are broken. Like you can't, you know, you can't forget about it, and you can't recover. But at the same time, it makes it for a really depressing movie that, you know, isn't like I think, you know, when with movies is that I love rewatching them, you know, and you know, when you watch them again, like they change as the viewer changes, and I don't know if I want to watch a movie again. Like, I probably will, but I don't know. And, you know, that's why it's not higher up, even though it is an excellent film. And number 7 is 10 Cloverfield Lane. And this is kind of like the most surprise, awesome movie of the year for me. Because, you know, you saw a little bit of a trailer for it, and it revealed that it was semi-connected to the original Cloverfield. And, you know, J.J. Abrams. But, you know, this was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, and it's not that connected. But I love that it was really simple story with these 3 characters just locked in the bunker and having to, you know, interact with each other. And, you know, John Goodman, oh, he is so good for this. Like, it's really too bad that he didn't get, you know, supporting actor nominee for this. But I think, you know, the Oscars give the awards to people that give them money, you know, spend a bunch of money on getting award buzz and stuff like that. And the only time they do that is they think they can make more money from the film. So the studios spend money on films that are still out in theaters, so that people, you know, so that they don't waste this money trying to get the people awards. They want, you know, more people to go out and see the movie, and, you know, so it's not a waste for them, because all they care about is the bottom dollar. But Eternal Cloverfield, it was probably like the most like thrilling movie of the year for me. Like, I mean, it was, you don't know what was gonna happen, and, you know, it was so tense, and, you know, I love all the little twists and turns, and it's such a small movie. It's amazing how well, like, I was enthralled with it, and you know, it's a great film. And number 6 is Captain America: Civil War, and this is one of the best MCU movies so far. It probably put like a number 3 or 4, and I love this movie, but I didn't put it higher just because, you know, the big thing with this movie especially, and most of the Marvel movies, is that there have been so many movies previously to it that it's tough for anyone to jump aboard the ship, you know, to watch this movie and understand anything that's happening. Like, for me, I've seen every movie at least twice, probably at least 3 times. Yeah, like even the ones that are my favorite, like the Thor ones. But like, I still, you know, if I'm thinking about like watching some of the older movies, I have to think, okay, do I want to watch all of them from the beginning, or do I want to watch the first characters movies and watch it like that? Like, it's tough, you know, like what movies to watch when they have like a marathon or haven't watched some of them. And this movie is so good for me because I love these films and I've watched all of them, and I love all these characters and seeing them fighting. This makes it even better. And you also have the problem where that, like, almost in all the movies, the villains aren't very good. And this movie, the villain again is kind of goofy. I like that, you know, he's pitting the 2 teams of heroes against each other, and that's because, you know, the villains are so stupid. The best villains are going to be other heroes. But I think this is kind of the best display of superheroes in the film ever, I think. Because, like, when they're fighting, it's like they're straight out of the comics. And one scene, like in the very first scene, it really shows that it's a display that we should have a Black Widow movie. The stunt choreography with Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow in the first scene is like so awesome. Like I want to see a whole movie of that. And also, like one of the scenes that isn't maybe as big as some of the others, but it's still a really cool scene. Like when they're running on like the sub and the tunnel, and they're like running as fast as cars, and they're throwing uh, motorbikes out of the way and like jumping on and stuff. Like that is the most superhero-ish thing I've ever seen. That kind of like brought my childhood dreams like to life. Because when you see someone just like fly like whoosh, it doesn't look that heroic, because like you're not actually seeing them fly. You're seeing them like lay on something in front of a green screen. But when you see them actually run, it seems like the cars are going fast. I know that they're doing stuff to make it seem different, but it makes it seem so real and believable that it's just, it's awesome. And it's an excellent film. It's interesting like how they'll like move on from this, but I really love what they did with this war. Like they couldn't really do what they did in the comics because they don't have all the heroes, but the way they did it was cool, and I really look to see the next film. Number 5 is La La Land, and this was a beautiful film, one of the best like real musicals I've seen in a long time, and it's tough. They don't get too many like classic musicals, and this is one of them, and I absolutely loved it. Now I would say like the songs aren't the best, and they definitely should have never been up for 2 songs for the Oscars, but they really stole the one position away from the next movie I'm talking about. But the songs are beautiful. The acting is amazing. The story is a little basic. It's basically just a Hollywood actress meets a jazz musician, and they kiss a couple times, and then they sing about it. But it's a really amazing film that I've seen twice, and I want to see again. I think it'll be really watchable, really rewatchable, and each time, like, you maybe get a little something more out of it. And I really love the film. And number 4 is Sing Street, and this is a film that I'm so sad that more people haven't seen, because it is such an amazing film. It's from one of my favorite directors, John Carney. And he did one of my favorite movies, Once, and he also did Begin Again. And he does these modern musicals where, it's not like a classic musical like La La Land. It's more of like these musicians get together and they create music, and the music kind of drives forward the story. And there's really then the creating the music is the emphasis for the movie, and it's a beautiful way to do it because they don't just like break out in the song, but it feels real because musicians, when they're crafting music, like it may be a little bit different, but I like the idea that they're singing to each other, almost they're singing about what's happening in their lives. And I also love how this one did something a little bit more different than the other ones, where they're doing these music videos, and I love that how the character. Farida Walsh Pilo, like he is like an unknown actor, and he is so good. But he has these ideas in his mind for these excellent music videos, but he only has like a shit camera, and really not much to operate as a tripod, because if they want to have the other people, well, there's one guy, the manager, that can film, but they don't have a lot of resources. There's a couple of teenagers in Ireland that don't have much money, so like he has this. Sometimes in the movie, he'll have these like dreams, like daydreams of how like the music video would be if like he had the money and if it was perfect, and then they like at the end they like go back to what it actually is, and it's just kind of goofy, but the songs are still excellent. Like I love the songs. And the one thing I have to is insane about this movie is that the songs aren't too good. They feel like songs that a teenage band that is really good could have made. They're slightly immature, they're slightly basic, but they're still excellent songs. And they're kind of like inspired by that time, like the '80s, I think. And they sound like from that era, and but sound a little bit different, like new too. And I really love this film, and I wish more people would see it. It's kind of sad that how like the studio really didn't push this film at all. Like I couldn't even see it in the theaters. I had to wait till it came to Blu-ray to watch it. And I mean, it only made like 13.6 million. And I don't know why it's like they didn't care about the film. They didn't want to try to push it. And it's an excellent film. I mean, it has almost a perfect Rotten Tomato score, 96%. And I absolutely loved it. And when you watch it multiple times, it still holds up as an excellent film. About really this guy that joins the band to try to win over this girl he has a crush on, and it's great. So at number 3 is Hell or High Water, and this actually just rewatched it the other night, and it is such a good film. It's a modern day western where these two brothers they have a plan to rob these banks to get their house back. It's basically their mom got a reverse mortgage on their house, their like family's house, and the bank has pretty much screwed her. And she died, and now they're about to foreclose on the house and take it. But then they just found some oil on the land, so to get back at the bank and to get money for the one character's kids, they were going to steal from the bank and give that money back to the bank, get to pay off the loan. And it's just like I love how the story for that. And also this film, it would have been so easy for it to be paint by numbers, black and white thing where these guys are the anti-heroes and they're like the good guys. They're taking it to the banks. But they're not good guys. They're bad guys. Especially Chris Pine's brother, Ben Foster. Like, he is really good in this. And this, he is not a good guy. He's a murderer. And, he enjoys the bank robbery and all this stuff. And, horrible things happen. And, Jeff Bridges and his partner, Gil Birmingham, I love their repartee between them while they're trying to catch him. And it really has almost like a cowboys and Indians sort of thing, or cops and robbers, like when you see both sides. And this, I mean, another film that not enough people saw, but still it had a pretty small budget, and it made decent, like 32 million. So it like almost tripled its money. So I mean, it's still good, did good, but I wish it would have done even better. There's another one. This is almost perfect on Rotten Tomatoes at 98%, and I love this film. And really, if you haven't seen it, you got it. It's on Blu-rays. So go buy it, because I think more people need to see the movie. And it sucks that it didn't really get honored for the awards at all this year. So down to number 2. So number 2 is The Nice Guys, and this is an excellent film that I absolutely loved. And it's just too bad that not many people saw it. Like, it has a little bit more of a budget, like at 50 million, and it only made like 57.3 million. So, I mean, the director, Shane Black, has said that he'd love to make sequels to this. But after that kind of performance, I mean, it made this money back, but it's probably not that likely that we'll see more, and that's a shame, because it is such a good film. It's basically about, it's set in like the Hollywood and like the past, and it really feels like this time. And it's Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, and Russell Crowe is kind of like, he's like a PI, but it's kind of like almost like a mercenary. Like, if you have someone that's messing with you, a bully or or like a boyfriend that's stalking, ex-boyfriend that's stalking you, he'll go in and knock the guy out and make him like leave you alone. And Ryan Gosling is like a PI, and he like investigates things and finds people, or like a lot of times he goes after the old people. He'll like find their dead husband, but they forgot he's dead. And in this one, he's trying to find this girl's daughter, which is like a famous porn star that you saw die in the cold opening of the film. But she thinks that she saw her in their apartment, and he's supposed to go look for her. And Russell Crowe has been hired to this girl that they're looking for, is hired to try to appeal or found her. He's hired to knock him out and get him to stay away, and that's how they clash. And there's the scenes between them, like the repartee between them, and like the back and forth is really excellent. And also the daughter is great too. And it really becomes like a bigger scene, a bigger like thing where there's like a conspiracy like with the auto companies, which they're trying like the catalytic converter or something, that where this horrible pollution and like stuff's going on with that, and they're trying to hide it. And there's a lot of like really fun stuff, and there's like this assassin that comes in that's really cool, and it's like so many different things throughout the whole movie that are just so fun. Like it's such a fun movie that it's really my second best favorite movie of the year, and I love watching it. I've seen it a couple times, and every time it's just as good, and I really think everyone should watch it. So at number 1, my favorite movie of the year is Arrival. And I absolutely love this film. And I saw it the first time I saw it, like it almost broke me. Like some of the things that like it almost sent me into a panic attack with how perfect the ending was. And I loved everything about it. And, some of the stuff there could have been more of the science. I wouldn't have minded more of that. And like, sometimes like the people are acting like douchebags kind of, and the soldiers, but that's realistic, like if that's how some people would act. And I love this movie. I saw it twice, and I think they're actually, because they got a lot of nominations for the Oscars, I think it actually might be coming out for another limited release in the theaters with like 8 extra minutes of footage. So I'm gonna check it out again. And I love this film, and it's my favorite film of the year. And something great about true hard sci-fi, like hard science fiction, and where these aliens like come down, and the whole world like in multiple different places, and they have to figure out why are they here. Are they offering something? Are they here to kill us? Are they here to help us? And they have to figure out how to talk to them, how to teach them our language. And I love that so much, and I really think that everyone should see this movie. It's my favorite film of the year, and I think it's the best film of the year for me. And it's too bad Amy Adams didn't get a nomination for the Oscars, but thankfully they honored the film in multiple other categories. And Denis Villeneuve, like he cannot do any wrong so far, and because of that, I'm really looking forward to the Blade Runner movie he's doing. But I love this film, and it's my favorite film. So thanks for watching my top 10 movies of 2016. And if I have some movies that I missed, feel free to comment them, your favorite movies of the year. And if you want to see playlists for my other movies and book reviews, you can check them here and here. And thanks for watching.